Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could, look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
Do you have grit? Do you even know what grit is? You know, there is a woman from Stanford who does a great YouTube video and a TED Talk on grit, Angela Duckworth. And when you think about grit, it's the ability to overcome adversity. Grit stands for guts, resilience, intensity, tenacity. Do you have grit? Grit is the passion and perseverance to pursue things over a period of time, working through change, challenge, obstacles, interruptions, disruptions, never losing sight of what you want and never wavering in your pursuit of what you want. In her TED Talk, she talks about, in her research, it is the number one determinant of people's success. Think about that. Think about a boardroom from a humorous standpoint right now, talking about future leaders saying, you know, we need to promote John. He complains a lot. He always wants more money. He leaves by 5. We should promote him. And by the way, he kind of struggles with stress in overcoming change and challenge. Grit. Do you have the guts? Are you resilient? Can you bounce back? Are you intense? Are you tenacious in your pursuit? Let me share with you a very quick story. Years ago, I had a different company than the one I have now, and I'll never forget it. I sold my company, and part of the sale of my company was the relief of debt. And I had a person who literally falsified some things, did some things that were pretty unethical, and I ended up losing about $235,000. My friend at the time, and now my investor, said, now you're going to find out how good you are. I said, what does that mean? He said, you have a choice. You can give that guy your due attention and complain and justify why you're angry, and that will be a waste of your energy. You do not have time. You have got to be tenacious, absolutely intense to get out of this hole that you've created. And yes, you've created the hole. And it was the best advice, the best coaching I ever got. The funny thing was, the bank at the time had called us and said, here's your relief of debt. Here's your release of liability. I could have grabbed that paper, walked out of that bank, and never worried about it financially because legally I'd done nothing wrong. Here was the funny thing. I went to my wife and I said, I can't do this. I can't take that piece of paper knowing they're going to get screwed. So we sat down with the bank. We were very transparent. We told them what was happening. They said, yeah, something felt funny about it. And we ended up working through an opportunity to, stretch the debt out over a period of time. And we never missed a payment, and we paid it off, $235,000. That ability really relates to grit. And the funny thing was, the friend at the time offered to give me some money. And I said, no, I created the problem. I'm going to get out of it. And what he said to me later, I'll never forget this. He said, I invested in you based on what I saw. He said, you were incredibly tenacious to overcome that adversity. Most people would have found papers to file for bankruptcy and absolve themselves of the responsibility. We never missed a payment. Now, I don't think that deserves accolades or a pat on the back. Yet later on, I realized, you know what? I've got grit. I've got guts. I'm resilient. I'm tenacious. Are there times I could be more? Sure, I'm sure there are. Think about yourself. Think about your employees right now. And let's dissect it a little bit. Think about guts. Do you have courage, determination, toughness of character, fortitude? You overcome fear, or do you give in to fear? Resilience. Can you bounce back? Can you recover and reinvigorate yourself? Intensity. Do you drive? Are you determined? Do you have passion? Not weekly, hourly, tenacious. Do you persevere and persist over time, no matter the challenges in front of you? I think about one of our clients, actually a couple of our clients right now, who have gone through some very tough times due to supply chain. And I once said to somebody, I said, this time is going to serve you so well, yet nobody wants this time. If everything were equal, you and your competition always had sunny blue days, and everybody was making money, how would you differentiate yourself from the competition? She looked at me and she said, I've never thought of it that way. I said, look, it's a stressful time. I totally get it. I don't understand what you're going through because it's different from what I've been through. Yet think about it. How has it served you well? She said, it's made me tougher. I said, what else has it done for you? And we kept talking. And no matter what's going on in the business world, sometimes we need to be gritty, if you will, with ourselves. She ended up really working through this very difficult time. Meanwhile, she lost 125 pounds. She's now doing triathlons. I said, that's toughness of character. I said, as you come out of it, she said, I'm going to be so much better off for this. Nobody wants to go through the tough times. Yet the tough times, specifically the experience of the tough times, are what builds our fortitude, our grit, our character, our ability to withstand anything. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.